Hot take. That was so.
No, it's good though. So let's talk about it. What is your hot take? So
What did I say? I think I said. I was like, I'm gonna say this. About to make so many people upset. Like,
and it's the Bitmoji, or what is it called? What is it?
It was my the Apple.
The emoji. Avatar thing?
Yeah, the avatar
it's
thing.
So
was
cute. You're like, it was like.
I was like.
We gotta put it on the screen
yeah,
too.
Exactly. It's bad that I look just like my avatar too. Like, so but it literally just said, what I said was, you are not manifesting anything except for a door for the enemy to walk through. Yeah, because so many people sit up here and they're like, oh, I'm going to manifest this, I'm going to manifest that. It's like, you aren't manifesting anything except this false thing that when it comes, you're going to think that you did that. And it's the enemy like, got him. Like, so, and the thing is, it could sound very spiritual. It could sound very like normal, like just to have positive.
Self-empowering.
Yeah, self-empowering, could be positive thoughts and all of that. But we are in a time where that is the word. Like, if there was a top used word, on social media or even just in conversation, it's definitely manifests among people that are spiritual or just positive.
Law of attraction, all that stuff.
Yeah, all that. And I'm just like,
which I used to really believe in and all that before Christ. But it's bleeding into the church heavily.
Oh, totally. And it's just, because you have the prosperity movement that teaches all these things that begin
as a man thinketh.
Yeah. I'm like, guys, stop. Don't. Those things are so destructive. So when I see the seeds of those going out like all over my feed and stuff, I'm just like,
okay, but let's dissect it though, because people are probably hearing it and say, well, what's wrong with you manifesting your life and why is that wrong?
Not going up.
How did you have it last time?
Yeah, I just need to just do it. Don't worry about it. I actually don't need to use this. That's the problem. I'm using that to like tie it back. So
you're able to do it without it?
Yeah, because it's literally 3 times longer than that thing. Hair wraps its own self. But yeah, like
nice. This is like the really cool behind the scenes. Never before seen footage of before setting a worship stage.
It's so bad. People wonder why it falls out in the middle of the set. I'm like,
hey, you know what? My friend Elizabeth was like, "Wait, is that the worship leader from Water of Life?" I was like, yes, because I posted your reel, we gotta talk about that. But she's like, yeah, I love when he worships or when he leads, because it just makes me really like get down. I'm like, yeah, dude, you have a way of leading people because you are out there actually worshiping the Lord. You're not just singing karaoke. Yeah. Sorry, we're going. I'm trying not to go strong this time.
Christian karaoke.
The Christian karaoke.
Thing.
It's a thing. All right, let's pray. We have like a solid hour.
Okay, do you know what you want to talk about? There's all kinds of stuff.
There's all, you know what? We're gonna let the Spirit leave. I know a couple things, but and then we'll see what the Lord has on your heart, and then we'll just go. I know we could probably talk for hours, though. That's the thing. Yeah. But you want to pray us in?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh man. Lord Jesus, we take this time to like stop and Lord, just invite you into our conversation. Holy Spirit, I pray that you calm our minds, bring wisdom. What conversations would you like your people to be having, Lord God? We invite you in fully into this moment, God. I pray that it would be life-giving. I pray that it would reach the people it's supposed to reach, Lord. I pray that it would be really renewing and refreshing for all of us. So I pray that you bless this time and this place in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. That part, though. I want to talk about your reel. Okay, but first, let's introduce you. For those of you that don't know who this man is, and his beautiful wife is in the room too. Shout out to RJ. This is Garrett Hall, and this is the second time that you've been on, and this is surely not the last. And I'm just grateful and honored that you get to be here, both of you guys. You guys are very special people, and yeah, I'm really excited. So Garrett Hall, you want to just maybe just why? First of all,
okay.
Why are you? How am I getting blessed to sit down with you again?
Oh, because you're, family.
Hey, familia.
Yeah. No. I mean, I believe I believe in what you're doing, and it's good to, it's a privilege to be able to like come in and just kind of share, be trusted to share my thoughts that could be controversial.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But
hot takes.
Yeah, hot takes. It's bad.
Hot takes are good though. It's healthy to just talk about.
Yeah.
And I feel safe talking to you about the hot takes too. And you bring lots of wisdom to back it up. So I'm just grateful. And also, I'm gonna double check.
I was gonna say I think I might be a little far away. That's all. I
don't make sure it's not.
Oh, like blocking.
Say your name real quick.
Sorry.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah,
Garrett. Oh, okay.
Your laugh was a nudge for me.
I'm like,
Okay, so yeah, no, but thank you for coming in. I know that this conversation is going to be good. I want to talk about your reel though, because that was like deep, and I was like, dude, he's taking the words out of my mouth. I'll like play it here. I'll like edit it in, but it's on your Instagram. So what inspired that reel? Because you really had a way to just take the words out of my mouth, and it's something that I've thought about a lot. Just when I think about, I'm a very nostalgic person in general, though. I've always kind of been like that, but just thinking of all the different seasons in my life and the people that have made an impact. And yeah, we've been we've called each other family, we've called each other best friends, and then it's not that necessarily all the time things happen where bridges are burned, but life just kind of does its thing. Yeah. So what inspired that reel?
I mean, it's grief. It's like grief, mourning people that are not just gone, but people that are alive. I like mourning past relationships. I mean, really, it was a way for me to process my grieving. I mean, this time of year for me, it's like extra difficult because it's about a week from the day will be the 7-year anniversary of my dad passing. And I lost my aunt at the beginning of summer. So like that was hard, but not just the like obvious grief. It's just like people that you thought that you like do life with forever. Like you have those moments where you're like, man, we had this mountaintop experiences after like over and over and over again. These people are going to be around forever.
Right.
And one way or another, either you let them down or they let you down, or what you've walked through in lifetime can be really hard for people to be around it. And that's something I've had to learn over the years. But every once in a while it comes up, and the thing about grief, like I liken grief to when the person is gone, either physically or just out of your sphere of life, there's a sadness that begins to like play in the background. It's like a song that begins to play. And every once in a while you take a moment and sit down and listen to the song, but it sits in the background of your life. And you have to choose like when and when not to like listen to that.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bad thing to listen to it. It's just there's an awareness that as you get older that it plays, and depending on the sensitivities that you're experiencing, and for me this time of year it's always like kind of hard. So I had like multiple dreams about people that weren't like around, and I was like, and I woke up one morning like early, and I was like, I'm like, I haven't used the voiceover thing in Instagram yet. And then I was like, but I don't gotta use that junk. I got my own studio. Let me do this.
Come on, somebody.
So I got up like really early and was like, and no one knew that I was even doing it. Like I was just like, and I was like, well, I mean, I can tell you the thought behind it too, because I was just gonna do like an August update, right? Yeah. Just like life right now thing.
Yeah.
But that was the life right now post, was showing what was actually going on in life. But for any of those people that maybe one day would see that this was about them, like that, they would know that, like, oh, or be like, nah, I ain't dealing with him, but like just to know that I could some way communicate, like, you're still on my mind. We're still on this side of heaven. Most of you, we're still on this side of heaven together. A conversation could happen, a phone call could happen, but if not, it's all good. Still love you, still love seeing what you do, and so.
Yeah, I get just like even emotional. Like I didn't even get like too emotional when I read it when I was watching it, but now just like really processing like what that even really means, because people talk about like breakups like in relationships, like, but no one really talks about the friendship breakups, and that's a whole process in itself. And that's so good that you said that you had to be aware of. There's times that maybe you don't want to play that song right now. Maybe that's not the best idea, but then there's times to sit in it and acknowledge it, and there's like beauty in it to be able to look back and see. But there is just a sadness to it, and it gets me really emotional just thinking about certain people.
Yeah, and it's like there's wisdom. God's growing you. God's growing them. Maybe they walked away from God. Maybe you walked away from God. Like, and it's just like, okay, there's a pastor friend, and even though we've heard a bunch of times, but a pastor friend was like, there are some people that are literally only meant to walk with you in life for a season. And that may seem very impossible because of the depth of the relationships you've had with a person. But he's like, well, that's just what it is, and I can see on the other, in the process that God's brought other people, I probably wouldn't know you if I didn't lose other people, probably wouldn't. There's so many other people that God's brought into our lives, like, we have like covenant relationships. I never even heard of that before until I met some new people that just locked right in. It was like, well, like I was like, babe, I'm like, really? Is this like, am I tripping? That this is that easy?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it just is. And I remember a past friend, he was like, look, it's just a covenant relationship. You'll never be able to understand it.
Just accept it.
Just accept it and know that they are like not everybody has those. And I was like, wow. So.
Because that could be in like romantic relationships, friendships, business, like ministry, kingdom building. Like it just fits like a glove. Yeah. It's so unique. I'm reading Ecclesiastes, right? Is that how you say Ecclesiastes?
Yep. You got it.
Thanks. Growing. Christian points.
Ecclesiastes is one of my favorite books.
It's so good. And there's just a season for everything. And it's so grounding to me because it's also very like, that book is like getting me all in my feels because it's like, I wouldn't say it's dark, but it's like sad because it's like, it's all like vapor, right? But there's also beauty in that, knowing that even it could be for a season, but it's for a reason. Yeah. There's a reason for it.
Yeah, and
just
God appointed time. It's Kairos.
Yes.
They say Kairos, it's Kairos.
Yeah.
So, yeah. For those who don't know.
So we're all getting Christian brownie points today.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Chronos is linear time and Kairos is God's appointed time. So, like, yeah. But
wait, but can you explain that a little bit even more? Because what's the difference?
So Chronos is, if I'm getting this right, I don't know, I think it's Greek, but Chronos is like chronological time.
Okay.
Like as it goes, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock,
okay,
3 o'clock, 4
and then God is like, whoa.
And then God's appointed timing is Kairos or Kairos, and it's like a Kairos moment where God appoints it. So when it says there's a time to mourn, a time to laugh, a time to cry, he's using Kairos. He isn't using Chronos. So he's not saying there's chronological time for people to die. It was great. He's saying no, there's a God appointed time for people to mourn. There's a God appointed time for people to laugh. A God appointed time for people to die, for people to cry, for people to celebrate, for people to like. So that's what makes it even deeper, because he's really at the end of his life sharing this. Yeah. And I mean, and who wrote that? That's Solomon, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So and what was the main thing that Solomon asked God for?
What? Wisdom.
It was wisdom. So and in God's greatness. He gave it to him.
And this is after he had walked away and did all the things. Everything. He tasted everything of the world. So he's seeing it from a really good perspective. And also, I love that it says there's no point in fighting. God already appointed everything. There's already, the destiny has already been laid out. So even with the friendships that we've lost or the relationships, like there's no point, not that it can never be again, but just accepting that there's like, there's moments that are never going to come back, friendships that are never going to come back. But that doesn't mean that we can't love them. We can't appreciate them.
Well, and I think it's in the same book. Pretty sure it's in the same book that it says it says it's better to go to the house of mourning than it is the house of feasting. And there's like wisdom in that, because it's like if you can see our worldly end, it helps you value the things that are already happening.
Right.
So I think
yes, this is so good. Yes.
And I totally am in the same space where I'm super melancholic, super reflective, super like I've always been that way. It took me a while to understand what that was. I thought I was just depressed. Yeah. You know.
Same. I'm like, dude, I need a therapist, but I would just get all in my feels about the past. But it's like. Yeah. It can be healthy.
Yeah, no, it's good. Well, and the thing is, we know who the Man of Sorrows was. Like that's Jesus. There's a word I got one time when someone said, "You take part." Like I'm hearing Man of Sorrows over you, but that's because you take part in what Jesus experienced. Because there was an isolation that was an isolation. Sorry, that Jesus experienced while he was walking this earth. I mean, you gotta. Think about it. He walked with these guys for 3 years, and they didn't believe in him really the whole time. He knew that. Like it's like you'll believe after I die and come back. Then no, because they weren't Christians the whole time. That's what people don't understand, like at all. So
wow,
like he was walking with people that didn't even that believed in him, but they were more looking for a king to overthrow the Roman rule, and that's not what he was doing. He's like, I'm not here to do that. Yeah. What do you mean? No, I'm not here to do that. I'm actually here to bring a sword, to turn a mother against against father. And it's like, I'm like, oh my goodness. But in that, there was a sorrow. And I think that we have a glimpse in Jesus' sorrow when we look at Gethsemane, when he was like, you guys know what's coming. Yeah. Like, I know they're coming. I know one of my closest friends just betrayed me, and y'all have no idea that he's just chilling with y'all. Like I know this, and I can't wipe him out because he's part of the plan. I can't stop him, So he has to go up. Would you guys stay up with me? Yeah. Hey.
Y'all still sleeping? I said pray.
Hey. And the thing is, I look at Jesus as probably one of the funniest people in the world. Probably one of the most light but super wise people. And to walk with this guy for 3 years, you're like, it's just Jesus. We'll do it tomorrow. Like it's like Peter. It was a long day. It was a long day, Peter. it was a long day. He can do it. He's the Lord, right? Like he understands. But inside, being the man of many sorrows, like he went up and he's up there sweating blood, like. Guys, sit with me, pray with me.
It's having that, be able to have that perspective. Because the other day, I was reflecting. I posted on my story too, where I was like, "Oh, it's a mountaintop season, and there's just very sweet things that are happening in my life right now." But I'm also I was on my porch. I'm like, man, but I know this is one day. It's not going to be. Not that it's not going to be so good, but there's something coming, and I don't know what that is. And I got into my feels but I was still so at peace with it. Because it made me, it's making me really appreciate the sweetness right now. It's making me really appreciate wow, this is happening, that's happening, and this too shall pass. And I'm okay with it. It makes me embrace it more.
Well, and I will say this: I know sometimes something I used to say a couple of years back.
Shout out.
Sorry, shout out. Cake and water. I remember one time I was like, Lord, I love this season. Yeah. Right? I love this season. And clear as the Holy Spirit was like, are you saying season because you want it to be a season? because I didn't say it was a season. But if you want it to be a season, it can just be a season. Okay. And yes, but there are certain things that God has for us. Sorry. There are certain things that God has for us that are for us. And that is what we will walk in forever. It would it would be like me being like, man, I love this season of being a worship leader. And he's like,
yeah.
He's like, no, you don't understand. You're created for this. But if that's what you want it to be. I was like, wait.
Okay, so with that, so there are certain things that are meant for us until we are reunited with heaven.
Absolutely.
And there's seasons for other things that come and go, and it's a cycle. But there are things that we can. That's so good. He said, "Hold on, wait.
We just got.
Do you want it to be a season?
Well, dude, I mean,
do you want this marriage just to be for now?
I mean, you walk through things and I have to share that kind of stuff because it's like, man, I didn't realize I was speaking things over myself or really kind of stopping what God had for me, and it changed my mind. It was like adjust my mindset. Well, eventually it's going to be over. Like, but there are obvious things that will come to a turning of the page. You know, like Echo's not going to be like, you know, 3 forever or how was he?
He's 2.
He's 2. I said 3. I was like, no, he's not 2. 2. But you know, I mean, one day all of that'll happen, but that'll be another chapter. But that doesn't mean that. But that has to end because life has to go on in that way. But there are things that God has for us.
See, that's a good example because I think about that with Echo, like where I'm like, dang, one day he's not gonna be like a baby or this taller. He's saying his ABCs, but he's like completely, you know, butchering it. But it's so cute, and I'm so here for it. I'm like, dang, in 2 years. He's gonna be saying it like no problem, you know. So I'm like embracing this, and it's also like there's some sadness to it, but it's that balance of it. I don't know. It's so sweet,
but it's good. And that's the thing, and that is true. There's such a sweetness in reminiscing and remembering, and like man, like remember. I mean, I'm thinking about my dad, and I'm like, yeah, it's painful to think about it, but I think about what he left, like seed that he'd sown, you know, and what I would hope to be was some kind of good soil that things were able to grow out of my life, out of him planting seeds in me, and my brother and my sister, like, you know,
that's like a healthy way to look at the past, and it's not like because in Ecclesiastes it also says it's not wise to be like, oh, the good old days, right?
Yeah.
To ponder on that, like, oh man, I used to do this. I used to look like this. I used to be able to do that. It's like that could be, not wise. But if you're looking at it from, my dad, he planted that seed, and now you're using whatever the past was, reminiscing it and using it towards the future and the present.
Yeah.
I think that's the healthy perspective from it.
Yeah. There's like super wisdom. I think one of the best quotes ever. Come on. Best quotes was from The Office. And I'm telling you, it's
The Office has a lot of nuggets, I'm not going to lie.
It's one of the best quotes ever. And if I butcher it, don't come for me, Office fans. I mean, I'm a huge Office fan, but just in the moment.
Yeah.
It says, Andy said, you know, I wish that we knew that we were in the good old days when they're happening.
That is the thing.
He goes, if someone would just told us that we were in the good old days,
exactly,
we would have lived it differently. And that's what you're saying.
Yes, like right now with Echo, I'm like, this is gonna be the good old days. When he's a teenager, I'm gonna be. So it makes you appreciate it because I always think about, dang, I wish I knew that when I had no social media, no cell phone, that was so sweet, and that we were never gonna have that again. Yeah, you know, and so, dang, shout out to The Office.
Yes, come on now, that's one of the best shows ever. But that for me, like, rocked me. I was like, and me being the nostalgic, you know, melancholic, sad person, I was like, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Because we remember our adolescence, like the adolescent age, where that is from. I don't know, what is it, like 12 to like 21 or 22 or something like that. You remember that stuff the most. Your entire life, it doesn't go away. It is core memory season, right? Yeah. So to be able to feel those things and be like, man, look around at what God has like done or is doing in the moment, and don't be like, and don't take it for granted. Because I mean, there are people that man, I've lost a lot of people. I've lost coworkers. And it's like, man, I remember that time we were just sitting there on a slow midweek Tuesday, like waiting for people to come into the place, and we were just talking and having a conversation about God. Like, and I know one day I'll see that person because I know he was walking with the Lord.
Yeah.
And to see him one day, like, yeah, man, it was that conversation.
Yeah.
Or, bro, it was that. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
Get in my feels. I love it. I love it that we could talk about things like this and just look at it from a biblical standpoint, because it's all biblical. That's the thing about Ecclesiastes. I've been like not wondering, but just pondering on, like, a lot of these wisdom books, or like what the questions that people are asking in the world about, like, what is the meaning of all this? What is this? What is that? It's all in the Bible.
Yeah. It's all there.
It's all there.
It's all there. Just look.
Okay, and you know what's not in the Bible, though?
What? Oh, Lord. What? Yes, what?
That we do not manifest.
Oh, you're funny.
Let's talk about that.
Oh,
Hot
man,
take.
My hot take. That was so...
No, it's good, though, so let's talk about it. What is your hot take? So
hot take, what did I say? I think I said... I was like, I'm going to say this. About to make so many people upset. Like,
and it's the Bitmoji, or what is it called? What is it?
It was my the Apple.
The emoji. Avatar thing?
Yeah, the avatar
it's
thing.
So cute. You're like... It was like...
I was like...
we got to put it on the screen,
yeah,
too.
Exactly. It's bad that I look just like my avatar, too. Like, so but it literally just said... what I said was, you are not manifesting anything except for a door for the enemy to walk through. Yeah, because so many people sit up here and they're like, oh, I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to manifest that. It's like, you aren't manifesting anything except this false thing that when it comes, you're going to think that you did that. And it's the enemy like, got him. Like, so, and the thing is, it could sound very spiritual. It could sound very, like, normal, like just to have positive.
Self-empowering.
Yeah, self-empowering. It could be positive thoughts and all of that. But we are in a time where that is the word. Like, if there was a top used word, on social media or even just in conversation, it's definitely manifests among people that are spiritual or just positive.
Law of attraction, all that stuff.
Yeah, all that. And I'm just like,
which I used to really believe in and all that before Christ. But it's bleeding into the church heavily.
Oh, totally. And it's just, because you have the prosperity movement that teaches all these things that begin
as a man thinketh.
Yeah. I'm like, guys, stop. Don't. Those things are so destructive. So when I see the seeds of those going out like all over my feed and stuff, I'm just like,
okay, but let's dissect it though, because people are probably hearing it and say, well, what's wrong with you manifesting your life and you, why is that wrong?
Because if you're not bringing Jesus into it, if you're not trusting him to do it, like, it's different to be like, Lord, I trust you to bring the right people into my life. I submit my friendships to you. I submit my whatever to you. And Lord, but it comes from you. So God, bring me great people. Bring me, provide for me and my family. Take care of keep me in good health. I'm asking God to do it. Essentially, you're taking God out of it when you say, well, I'm just going to manifest this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to I'm going to get that job because I want to get that job. What? Like, yeah. And then what happens is, let's say it happens. That's just that's one brick to kind of stack on your pride that you can manifest things. Then you're like, don't worry, I'm going to send you positive vibes. I sent positive vibes to this person that was grieving and now they're happy. Here's another brick of pride. And it's like you're building this like fake house of it's being built on your weak sand foundation. Yeah. That will eventually fall. And I know that that's hard for people to hear if they don't believe in Jesus, but it's like, try Jesus and see if he comes through for you. Because that's the thing that I think that people need to do. They need to test him at his word. Like, God said this. He'll do it. Yeah. But if you start thinking that it's you, like, pride is it's so quick. Right. Like, it's so quick to take root. And pride does not look like what pride sounds like. Like pride could be, well, I know I'm gonna lose this game. I know I'm gonna lose this like basketball game that I'm playing in. You could be so prideful in your lack of like positivity in yourself or hope in yourself, like that you could actually do that. That becomes a pride thing. That's a little bit of a segue, but manifest. You can't manifest anything except open a door. Like you're gonna open a door. You're gonna open a door for things.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say is because I believe, and hear me out, that you, well, especially if you're not a believer. I'm talking about if you're not a believer, you can manifest things, but where is that power and that blessing coming from?
Yeah.
Because if you get so, first of all, when they teach manifestation, like in the secular world, New Age world, all that spiritual realm, it's about what do you want?
Yeah.
How do you want to feel? How do you like? What car do you want? What kind of relationship? All things. Not once is it, Lord, what do you want for me?
Yeah.
Not once is it, God, what are your plans for me? You become your own God. Like you literally become your own God, and manifestation, a law of attraction, a lot of that. I think it's breathing. No, not breathing. Breathing. I was like breathing. That's not it. Breathing. Just like almost like narcissism, self-seeking, self-righteousness, pride.
It's fulfilling the last days. In the last days,
do as you
men will be lovers of themselves.
Exactly.
And that literally is what it becomes. It's like I'm about me, and I'm gonna take care of me first, and I'm like good things are coming to me.
Yeah,
they are coming to me. I'm gonna get that house. I'm gonna get that this. I'm gonna get that and you aren't even asking God if He wants me to have that, because God's like, no, probably not. It's probably gonna destroy you.
Yeah, you're actually that's your vice, but okay.
Yeah, right. It's like if you had everything, you'd probably, because you haven't built a good foundation, you're gonna fall into all kinds of things. So He has to like steer us to these things. You can't just have the straight path all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's the bruises and scratches and the losing of people and all these things that turn you into this person that God sees at the end. And if He sees the end from the beginning, and we know He does, I want to know I want to bring it to Him first.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is like you manifesting stuff, and what that power is coming from it's gonna require something of you.
Sacrifice.
Yeah. It's gonna take something from you. Like, but with Jesus, He's like, I already became the sacrifice. So just come to me.
Yeah.
Ask me, sit with me. And and you come to know me, and you'll begin to know my heart. And before you even say it, I'll already be like, because you already know my heart.
Yeah. But the whole like manifestation movement in itself it's painted as the angel of light. It looks cool. It looks nice. Like it looks harmless because again, why would you not want that? If you're in a dark place and you're needing positivity, if you're needing healing, why would you not want to take control and just do affirmations and manifest change your thoughts, all the things? It seems right. It seems like what's the Proverbs?
The way it seems right to a man, but it leads to sudden destruction.
Yeah,
right? I think.
Something like that. But
something like that.
So it's like,
right to a man.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so it seems right, but it's like you said, every time that you do manifest something, all of a sudden,
you get a little bit like, hold up, I remember, I will never forget this. Okay, so I grew up with a stutter. I had a stutter from kindergarten. You probably don't even know. I mean, I stumble a little when I speak, or I talk really fast.
I had no idea.
But when I was from kindergarten to 12th grade to my senior year in high school, I was in speech therapy.
Oh.
And when I turned 16, when I got saved, there was a change that happened that I didn't even realize happened until I went to my speech therapist, and she was like, because every Tuesday we'd meet. Every Tuesday I get taken out of class and brought into a little room with all the people with speech impediments and people I grew up with, people with lisps and stutter and all the things. We'd all have a little grouped together. It was funny. It was funny because it'd be like everyone, like nobody could dodge it. Like if you were a gangster, like you were a gangster with a lisp in the room with all the special needs speech people. Like there was no being hard in that. It was like, say homeboy. Home. You know what I mean? Like it was it was like that. But all that to say, so I grew up with this I mean she was my speech therapist for like 5 years, right? So she saw me and she was like, Garrett, hold on.
Yeah.
What happened? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you're not stuttering. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not stuttering? She's like, something happened. What happened? Did something change? Because, they're wondering if there was like a pathway that was, I mean, I know that now, but they're wondering like what happened in your...
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, honestly, I just got saved. I got saved. Like I came to Jesus. I came to Jesus, and that was like 2 weeks ago. So I don't know.
I don't know that, man.
But I didn't notice it like at all. And
no way.
I mean, she was like,
like in the movies.
Yeah. She was like, something.
Yeah.
I need to know what happened. And I told her, and she was like, oh. It was funny because that kind of, I think for her, it kind of brought it back around. Now, obviously, this is in regular public school, so she was like, oh Jesus, like, you know what I mean? But she was like, no, this is crazy, and she ended up like doing a whole speech about me being this huge success story, being the thing. But I'm saying that why am I talking about this? I'm saying this because
manifestation pride.
Because like there was a reason. Went down a trail. See, that's a problem. Sorry doing that.
No, it's okay.
I can't remember, but I know that when I came to the Lord, He took that.
Wow.
That's
huge.
And it was so hard for me to like read. Like I would like to read, but they always did open reading and popcorn and junk. Like I was like, bro, not it. Like the whole time I was like,
not me. Go.
Yeah, I was like. Because kids are cruel, but I stuttered my whole life, and that's something that God did for me when I came to Him. I'm trying to remember the reason I brought that up. It was something we were talking about, but I can't remember. But all that to say, I knew that I could like trust Him. Like it was something I didn't even realize that was going on, and God like and
He's
did that.
working. Yeah, He's working behind the scenes.
And I was like, man, so I think that's gonna bother me forever. Why I brought that up? There's a reason.
Honestly, I hate when that happens. Like I'm like, dang, dude, I know it was good because that's why I brought it up.
But my whole life I dealt with that, and to see God come around and turn it around for me, in that, because I was so self-conscious about it. I was so like nah, but only Jesus could do that for me.
And it's crazy because you spent how many years you on your own will trying to fix it, and all of a sudden God comes through.
And then somebody told me, Moses had a speech issue, right? And I was like, oh, what? What do you mean? Like, yeah, he was not. It says that he wasn't good with words.
Yeah, he was going like this.
Yeah, like he was like, Aaron can do it. Why don't you have Aaron do it? Why don't you have him? Like, but yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I think we're in just such a time where people think they could do that for themselves. Well, now I remember why I was doing it.
Come on.
So I had that my whole life. Now, people get so bold and prideful about it. I worked for a online company that dealt with connecting people. I'm trying to not talk about the company I worked for, but I remember I stuttered one time on the phone call, and there's this guy, the customer I was talking to was like this positive reinforcement guy, and he like saw it as an opportunity to like, hey man, I work with men and help give them positive reinforcement to help them do this and that. If you just say this, and he was like, gave me this whole list of words, you'll be able to be, and it was so like, I was like, what are you talking about, bro? Like first of all, nah, but also, what? Like, like he heard me stutter once, and he just started to like, oh, I've led so many men, and it wasn't on some like Jesus junk.
No, of course
like,
not. Yeah,
it was like not junk, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't on some like, oh, you know, it was like, no, I lead men and I get men to be this and that, and it was so like prideful and just gross. And I was like, literally, like, this is why you ain't got no matches, because of this right here. Like, I mean, sorry.
What did you tell him?
Oh, I didn't. I just was like, oh, okay. Is there anything else I can help you with? No, man. Listen, if you just say the words, like if you say the words, I am strong. I was like, bro, and this was a long time ago. And it's so funny to me because, yeah, I think if anyone would have heard this guy 10 years ago when I was having that conversation with him, they would have been like, guys like Fruity Loops, like, you know. But now it's like, oh, everyone, we can all, you know. And it's like, bro, where are we right now? Like you know.
So what triggered you to say that?
No.
On the post, like, do you see it happening somewhere in the church?
Yeah. I see it happening all over the place, and it's so. I think people are so bold in saying things now. Saying things that they feel are controversial, that they know are controversial, and the manifest thing is just one of the million and one things that keep coming across. And I'm just like, no, you didn't manifest it. You didn't manifest it with Jesus. You need to stop. You take that word out, like, and because manifest. When I hear manifest, I think of demonic manifesting. That's what I think of, and people don't understand that. I mean, literally, anyone that deals with deliverance ministry or any of that stuff, they hear manifest. They aren't thinking
happy stuff.
They aren't thinking happy stuff. They aren't thinking that. They aren't thinking of manifest on a plane. They aren't, because that's like a list of people.
Yeah.
You know, they're thinking, oh, this person's manifesting a demon. Like that's what they're doing.
That's so true.
And I don't know where this comes from, but I know a lot of people that work in deliverance ministry that have taught on this stuff before. They talk about how there are demons that follow us around and mimic us, like that know us and know everything about us. And the moment that you start to kind of feed in that thing, it's time. It's like batter up. Like it's like, oh, it's my time to get in here. Where are they gonna let me in? Are they going to let me in where, okay, it's going to be through this money thing. So you're going to go gamble, and you're going to manifest that you're going to win, and you're going to win, and you're going to get all this money, and that demon's waiting right there, like, okay, I'm in now. Like, you're manifesting. That's what I mean, really, that's what I think when I hear manifest. It is not a positive thing right away, because it's a word in the church that people that have a lot of heaviness, a lot of darkness over their lives, with things that they've struggled with. When they come to Jesus, they have to get free from it. And a lot of that will manifest into a physical kind of thing that will happen when they come to Jesus, or when they want to get free from the things that they've been allowing to like enter their like heart and life and things. So
can we talk a little bit about deliverance? Are you open to that?
We can. I'm not an expert though.
Okay.
She is.
Yeah. All right. I know. Arja's gonna come back too. We're gonna talk about it. But I guess for people that don't know what it is, because the whole hot take about deliverance is that if you are born again, you have the Holy Spirit. How could demons have any effect on you? Mm-hmm. Right. So how would you answer that?
They don't have effect. They don't have place in you, but they have place around you. And I think the example that Bill Johnson gives is like, if it's like, you know that Jesus is living in you, but demons are around you, they can push on you. And they can begin to push you towards things as you're not like trying to like kind of like, hey, Jesus, come and like cover me, like be around me, like I know you're in me, but Holy Spirit, push back the enemy's attack, because the attack doesn't stop. So just because they can't be in you doesn't mean they can't push you, you know. And there's also like we know that we come to the Lord and we're being perfected.
Right.
Like, and there's a perfection that has to happen. That there's a giving up of things. We know the people that come to the Lord and they're still cussing and smoking whatever, and they're drinking and they're living this life that they think they can still live, but there comes a point where that has to be broken off of them. Because yes, Jesus washes you white as snow, but there's still a life to walk out, and we still have the flesh. The flesh does not go away.
Right.
That's why you have to die to the flesh every day. You have to wake up every day with the decision to die to your flesh, so you can live in the spirit. Because those things still attach themselves to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're in you. It's just they attach themselves. But getting free from something, it takes. So sometimes it looks a little crazy.
So why do the manifestations happen? Because it happened to me, but I was like 3 days. I was like, what just happened? I was kind of confused because I was like, is it like? And I know that you're not. You say you're not an expert.
I'm not an expert. I mean, I think from personal experience, I think that there are things that you hold on to. There are things that you make agreements with when you're young, and you don't realize that you're making these agreements, and you need to break those agreements with those things. I remember one time, I remember Pastor Dan even tells a story about the first time he experienced all that. Have you ever heard that story? It's like it's pretty intense, but pretty much there was. He was in Malaysia. I think he was in Malaysia when he first experienced this woman that manifested the thing. And she was taking out everybody, like all these people, and they were all going to pray for her. And Pastor Dan just happened to be there. And it had just been given like his gift of tongues, and he was like, I don't even believe in that. He goes, but it was a little bit that God gave me, and he said when this thing began to manifest and began to like speak and talk, he was like, now it's time to use that little bit, say it. And the moment that he started saying this, the thing like, hey, don't do that. Like it was talking, that's a whole thing. But all that to say,
wow,
God gave him a vision. Gave him a vision of this woman when she was a little kid. And he said, I saw you he goes, tell me, were you a little kid and I saw something come to you and said that it would protect you? And you said yes. And she's like, yeah, that did happen because I was being abused and this and that. And this thing came to me and it said that it would protect me if I let it in. And that's not the first time I've heard that story. I mean, I had my first encounter with possession and deliverance, all that stuff, was not us trying to exercise no demons, no deliverance. We were just having Bible study, and it was old school like accountability group, and me in my 20s with the dudes, and we were all struggling with the things that dudes deal with, but we were coming together faithfully every Wednesday. Like let's get together, pray through stuff, and talk about what we're walking through. And one of my friends, he was having weird dreams all week and all this stuff about killing me, beating up, like it was this whole stuff.
Yeah.
And we went to pray, and it just popped off like crazy. I mean, 8 guys holding down one person, like that kind of stuff.
Like that.
And it was, I mean, and it's scary, and it's not like, man, it is not. It's like, no, I don't like this. Like, I don't like that part at all. And I was messed up for like a while. Like,
messed up in the sense of like,
experiencing it, because you begin to really see the evil that is on the other, like the evil that the Bible talks about. Like, it's like, okay, I see the enemy.
It's for real.
Like, this is not fake, because he didn't even look like himself. Like, and this was a guy that I was so close with. And he told, and he was heavy in the martial arts, all this stuff. And he said, when I was a kid, he said we would, we do our we would talk about chi and all this stuff. And he was a black guy that grew up and his dad was in the military, so they were all over the place. And he grew up in China, and he learned a lot of his stuff in China. And he said, I remember one time I was practicing, and I wanted more power, and my chi came to me. And
I just got the chills.
Like, it came to me and said, I'll make you strong, but you have to let me in. Like, and there's like a permission that happens, and it's hard. Like, the way that the Bible describes Satan is that he's so cunning, and he knows how to like make it sound like it's trying to help.
Yeah.
But those things go in and they take root. And yes, you are saved when you get saved, but there are things that we have to break the agreement with.
Yeah.
And that's that's from, I mean, that's in the history of the church. This stuff's been going on. There's like just people that are like, man, like, for example, if you're a person that's like a booze hound, I shouldn't say booze hound. If you're a person that struggles with alcohol addiction, when you get saved, there is a possibility that there'll be a supernatural transformation that happens in that moment where you no longer have the taste for alcohol.
And
and then there's the 95% of the people that it's like, I got the thirst immediately, like, and they can't break it, and that's when you go to someone like, hey, like, can you pray for me? Can you walk me through? Like, I don't want this, and that's the thing, because when you're led to Jesus, it's not, I don't want the vices and things that I have. The prayer is, I want Jesus, and that's the starting point. But then it begins to, like, as you get wiser and you're walking with him, you're like, I still have this like desire to do this. How do we get this out? Like, I don't like that. And then it can either just be tears at the altar or like,
right.
Or it can be throwing up. It can be screaming. It can be, but you don't realize how deep something has taken root in you, and we're not in our like glorified bodies. We're not like the heavenly beings that we will be, the perfected beings that we will be one day. But right now we still have the vices and the things that get in, and it's like, Lord, like, search me. Mm-hmm. That's why he says, search me, like asking, like, Holy Spirit, search me. If there's any wrong way in me, like get it out.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be in the Bible if you weren't supposed to do that. Like, because we're being perfected, like, and you don't, like, as iron sharpens iron, like you gotta, like, it's like shine the tool, shine it up, let the blade be like sharp, but it takes some it takes some grinding and a skillful hand, and God has that skillful hand to do it if you let him. But just like you let the enemy in, you have to let Jesus in and get you in the process of getting rid of the other stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, dude, I was thrown off for 3 days, like, after I went through deliverance, which I thought I was just gonna get prayed for. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh yeah, like, I saw other people, getting delivered. I was like, I don't think I need that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dude, when I tell you, it literally felt like my skin was like ripping, like it was being stretched out so much, and I was like screaming and stuff, and then I go look in the mirror. Dude, my whole face had all these red blood vessels were popped. And it was intense. And that's when I was like, dude, this stuff is real. Like, I knew Jesus was real, but I'm like, dude, this stuff is no joke. Yeah. And I think about, like, all the spirit guides and spirit angels that I would invite when I was in New Age, and I would sit there and I'd put, like, crystals on my forehead, and I would ask the universe, I would ask to come in, like, isn't that crazy? And that's happening all the time now, even from, like, young ages, like the whole New Age and spirit guides, angel numbers, you're coming into agreement with demonic, demonic spirits. So that stuff is just no joke, dude.
Well, and demonic, and it shouldn't be that demonic is like this lofty, scary word to use. It's like, there's dark, there's light. There was Satan was in the garden, like we know the story, like it exists, and through pride he fell, and he brought a third, right, of the angels, right?
Yeah,
a third of the angels with him that then turn into demons, like they are the ones that are his, like, crew, and they tempt people and they walk around, and even though Satan is not omniscient, is not omnipresent. Demons are everywhere. So, like, and they're waiting for an opportunity to be let in. They're waiting for an opportunity to have influence.
So when people talk about, like, you have to close those doors, don't leave a door open. What is that? Like, what does that mean? For people that don't know.
Breaking agreement with it.
So it could be like, I guess, like, my question is because and I'm kind of talking for, like, the audience, right? Because I want to hear your perspective on it. So we know that sinning habitual sin
Yeah.
is a door. We're opening the door, right?
Yeah.
We're giving room for the enemy to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
if
not
you're
just that.
if we're sinners and we're not perfect and we're gonna fall short, does that mean the door's always open because we're always? So
No.
yeah, that's the question I wanna.
I think that, and I mean, really, it's not just the sinning, it's what you see. It's what you're feeding yourself. You know, oh man. If you're a person always listening to murder mysteries, you know, you're going to have some dark dreams. You know, you're probably wondering why you're having dark dreams. Like, did you want to stop listening to the murder mystery podcast every 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Because that will become a door. Like, it can become a door. But it's not a door for everyone. Like, it can be a door for you. If you're a person who watches stuff that has a lot of bad words in it, and you don't even cuss, you get on the road and something happens, and you're like, you know, and the word will come out, and you're like, wait, how did that get in there?
Yeah.
Where did that happen? Oh, well, what am I seeing? Like, what am I watching? What am I allowing? Like, in, you know, my eye gates, my ear gates, like, you know, there's like, there are, you know, we are sealed by the Holy Spirit, but because we have free will, we can open these things up. And you have to, like, it's just being aware of what you are washing yourself in all the time. You know, if you're, I mean, look at from day to day, like, what is your routine and what are you putting, like, in your body, around your body, that is going to cause you to, like, you know, and then you got to ask, what is that right now after I say that, after I'm saying that, that's making you like, well, I'm not going to give up this. It's like, well, that's the thing.
Ugh.
You know, like that might be the thing.
That might be is an indicator that there is a demonic stronghold.
Yeah.
When you're like, you know, it's something that you shouldn't be doing, but you're like, I don't want to.
But you're like, oh no. But does he really want it? Does he? It's like, okay, we'll put it on the altar and see if it burns up. I mean,
So good.
I mean, that's like, and that's hard because because everything has to be able to be put on the altar. So can I put that friendship on the altar? Can I put that relationship on the altar? If it is, will it be? If it's tested by God's fire, will it be consumed or will it be refined and be like the thing?
This is so good. Okay, sorry, because I'm like seeing it. I'm seeing it in a visual of people putting the relationship, putting the job, like whatever it is, and testing it, and like it could either just vanish. Mm-hmm. God will just be like, nope, I don't want that. That's not for you. Yeah. Or it could be refined. Yeah. And it could be for His glory. Yeah. Whatever that. Yeah. The adjustment can be.
And it's hard because you have to trust Him with it. And it's like, there are the obvious things that'll burn up, like the lust will burn up, the alcohol will burn up, the weed will burn up, like all this other things. It's not going to be refined. Sorry, it's just not. Yeah.
People are like,
you know, like it may be used for some medicine or something, but it's going to get burned up. It's still going to get, but there are things that we think are good, and it's like, God, I trust you with this, and I'm gonna, if it's tried by the fire, did it last? You know, will it last? Maybe that's what it is in the reel I made. Like, it's like relationships that were put on the altar of life, and God burned it up and was like, see, it was there for a season. You know?
For someone that's listening, like, how do I practically put something on the altar? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, and when you say altar, like, we aren't building altars. Like, you know,
I know, that's why I want people to understand what we're saying.
It's a, I would say it's a spiritual, or like in your, I don't want to say with the wrong words, but like in your heart, like, Lord, like, I give you this. Like, God, like, this relationship, we go back and forth. It feels like it's toxic. It feels like it can't be ironed out. But I know that you can iron it out. So, Lord, I give it to you. And Lord, you try it. You refine it. like if it's refinable, let your fire like fall on this, God, and see if it remains, and let me know if it remains, and
He will.
Yeah,
He'll let you know.
Yeah, and the timeline. I mean, the timeline of that. Who knows? But don't push back when you see it happening.
Yeah.
And don't wonder why it's happening, because like God's like, remember you asked me, and I've had that happen where I've done that before, and God's like, don't you remember?
Yeah.
Like when my friend manifested, my understanding of that after 2 weeks of being like freaking out, like he was like, don't you remember when you prayed that you wanted all your friends to come back? Well, that was the result of your prayer. It took that, and that is what happened. But it's weird because you're like, wait, what? I didn't realize that. But like, put it before him. Put it in his hands. Like, Lord, I lay this on the altar. I trust you with it. There's a worship song that's called, like old school worship song called "Refiner's Fire," and it literally kind of like. It kind of takes the it's one of my favorite songs. Gosh, no, I think it's one of the songs that I was singing when I got saved. Man, those had the oil. I'm telling you, but it just and it was based off of scripture. It was purify my heart, let it be as gold and precious silver. Purify my heart. I mean, it's pretty much it's taking all these things. But the chorus says, "Refiner's fire. My heart's one desire is to be holy, set apart for you, Lord. I choose to be holy. I choose to. I'm not singing it because that's why I'm messing with the words. But it's I don't want to sing. But it goes. Purify my heart. Let me be as gold and precious silver, purify my heart. I mean, it just goes to this thing, and then the chorus, refiner's fire. It's my heart's one desire is to be holy, set apart for you, Lord. I choose to be holy, set apart for you, my master, ready to do your will. And the whole thing is like, it's like you're not, it's like I can't be ready to do your will if I'm not willing to put the stuff on the altar and let it burn. It's like, God, I know that I know with confidence I can put my like worship leading down on the altar, and he's going to refine it, because I'm gonna take my ability to sing worship with me to heaven. But he's going to refine it while I'm here so we can lead people to him, But there are other things, like we have to be open to that and just ask, like Jesus, like Jesus, just, I give it to you, and just test it, Lord. And I know what I'm asking, but it's because I want to know if it's the thing that, if it needs to be, still be a part of my life.
Going back to the full circle, it's like, is it what he wants for your life, not you manifesting?
Yeah.
Taking control. It's like really just surrendering to God's plan. It's not easy. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's a hard. I mean, deep-ish type stuff, because it's like people don't want to hear. People don't like hearing this stuff, but it's necessary. And it's not that like we have this like down, like we're perfected, like masters at it. It's just like there comes a wisdom, and there comes like it's like, all right, Lord, because I keep trying this my way and it is not working.
Yeah.
I went through there was something that happened at the beginning of the summer, this conference, and the Lord began to like show me literally what it would have been like if he didn't intervene and he didn't do it his way. Like what relationships I wouldn't have anymore. What people would not even be a part of my life. And I was just weeping and just, like, wow, it is better your way, Lord. Because, man, it was hard to like realize that. But to understand God's love for me, he's like, no, I understand it hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt on the front end. But look at what fruit came out of it. you know. And if it wasn't this way, it would have been so much worse,
Yeah.
you know. And yes, it was painful, and yes, it was uprooting, you know. But it was time for a bigger pot.
Yeah.
You know, we can't stay in the little tiny planter. You know, the roots have to grow and need to stretch out, and sometimes
relocate. You gotta
sometimes you gotta relocate. Sometimes you're a freaking oak tree sitting in a potted plant pot.
Yeah.
And God's like, no, you need to be in the forest linking roots with other trees. You know, but because you saw that you were just in this thing, you thought that that's all it was for you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not what God had.
I think. Have you seen that video? Or not video, but it's like an image where it's Jesus with like a big teddy bear or a big bouquet of flowers, and the little girl's holding on to her little teddy bear, little flower, and he's just like, trust me.
Yeah.
It's like, so sometimes it's just so hard because we think it's so like cool, so good for us, and God's like wants to do so much more for us. But it's in the trusting over time where you're like, dang, yeah, that hurt, but in the long run, you got my back, Lord. Thank goodness you did not, you know, let certain things work out. Thank goodness you didn't listen to my cries and just give me what I thought I wanted, because that would have ended up a lot differently.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I mean, I'm not just a tangent, but I mean, that was David. David was like, okay, you put the you put the bear in my hand, lion in my hand, you did all this stuff. You helped me fight off all these things. So surely I can take out this guy. Like, you know, like, it was like, who's this guy talking mess? Hold up.
Yep.
Not about the guy that did this for me. You know what I mean? But he was able to test him at his word and his actions. Like he was like, God did this for me. You delivered. He delivered. He's like, he did this and this, and he's about to do this right now. You know, and it's like, wait, what? But, I mean, and it's all through Scripture that God does that. You know, like, I think we get in the place that we trust it. I'm trying to think of some more Bible stories, and there's so many, but of people just submitting to, like, okay, you know, we look at Joseph, and Joseph's a crazy story because if it wasn't for Joseph, none of us would be here. If it wasn't for Joseph's obedience and trusting God with his gift, with the thing is this, he had to put his gift had to be refined. And he went through the 20 however many years of refining, because he was a little bratty kid talking about, he was having dreams about people bowing down to him. His brothers were like, we out here sweating in these streets. What are you doing, guy, in the colorful thing?
Hold on, wait, what is that? Why is that color popping, first of all?
It's like, bro, it's like your hands feel like squished caterpillars. Like, I'm out here grabbing wood and rocks. Who is this guy? It's like, and your dad's favorite. This is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you gotta go.
You gotta go. And he didn't have any wisdom.
Yeah.
But God sowed wisdom.
Yeah.
He refined his gift. He refined it and refined it and refined it over and over and over again, so that when it was time, he was able to act appropriately. You know, and he was able to, you know, save everyone, and not just himself, save his family, save all of us, you know, and make a way for all of us, you know, but it was because it was tested. It was tried. He didn't lose his mind when he interpreted the dreams, and the guy was like bouncing, forgot about it.
Right.
He's like, dude, he's like, they're coming. You know, he didn't like give up. I knew he didn't like pop off in their face when he saw him again. He's like, it's like, remember me, bro? Remember?
He's like, wait.
You know, but he didn't do that. He waited on the Lord, and even though it was painful, you know, to have everyone forget about you, you know, but God used it.
Yeah.
Man, there's something else I wanted to say, but I know we don't have any time. I was like,
to who?
No, there's more.
What?
Oh, what time we got?
What is it? I think we got time. Well,
I mean, I'm just thinking about, like, I think the way that the world is right now, just so many things with the manifesting thing, it's getting to a point to where it's just like, I'm getting so, I think we get desensitized. I think that was the thing too. I think I was getting desensitized to people saying manifest. To people saying the universe.
Right.
To people, and the thing is, we almost kind of shrink back sometimes because we're like, well, I don't want to like shut that down for them. You know what I mean? But it's just like, no, it's like there's too much happening in this world that like it's like the weirdness is like hijacked, yeah, like regular thought, like
So true, yeah.
like it's hijacked truth. It's too fluid. It's too like nothing is definite and everything is wishy washy and just like weird, And it's just like no, like no, you can't do that. Like you can't manifest anything, like except manifest some demonic stuff that
Right.
will eventually come for you, like
Yeah.
that will eventually cost you and take something from you, But there's a man, there's a man, and there's a way, and like God sent His Son. I was explaining this to the person who did to Sarah. Right?
Yeah.
Like I was explaining, and it was such a great conversation because I forget. It's been a while since I've been able to just sit and talk to someone, just sharing like life now. The simple gospel, the simple way of what it was meant to be is God wanted. The reason God wanted to repeat Himself in people and give us a choice to love Him. That was the whole thing. That is literally bare bones. Everything that God did, why God made people, was because He wanted to sit with His creation and repeat Himself in something and give us an opportunity to love Him. And at its simple core, God just wanted to hang out with us.
Wow.
Like that's all He wanted to do. And yes, this happened and sin happened and all the things happened and then it gets blurry and all the things.
Yeah.
And why did God allow bad? Why did He allow sin? It's like all He wanted to do was just sit with His creation and just see them be. And be the thing that He created them to be. You are being everything I created you to be. Like that's what a human being is.
Yeah.
And the simplicity of that, and the simplicity of Him telling Adam who he was and what Adam's job was, and then he's looking at Adam like, nah, he can't be.
Hold on, this isn't good. Hold on, let me bring you someone else.
He's like, you can't be by yourself. This isn't gonna work. I need to add somebody to But to even see that, and not that there was a flaw in God's creation, in His plan, He was just like, no, he should have someone. And but
It's so cute.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's simple. It's not this complicated thing.
Yeah.
And I love going back to the garden because we've made things so complicated now. But when it was just God just wants to hang out, He spoke to Adam. He told him who he was. He gave Adam a job. He said, here's golden bricks and diamonds and rubies and all this stuff. Oh, I'm not putting it together. You're doing this, And he's like, what? Like, yeah, you do this, and name all these creatures too.
Yeah.
And tell them what tell them what their purpose is. Like, tell them what and he's like, okay, bet, cool, and we get to hang out at the same time every day. Yes, okay, Dad, no problem. Like that. That's so what simple. He was.
Yeah.
And I think that God saw the good work that Adam was doing, and He was like, man, he shouldn't do this alone.
Yeah.
Even though he's talking to animals and he can do all that, he just doesn't have anyone like him besides me. And it's like, but I'm God and we're triune God. It's a different thing. And really what it is God saw that there was an us. And He said we should give him an us too.
Yeah.
And so Him putting Adam to sleep and then creating, taking out his rib and creating Eve. And I was just explaining this and just like, we don't know how long Adam was asleep, but we see Eve knowing who she is, how to be a woman, all of that, because there was a time where God spoke with her.
An appointed time.
There was an appointed time that God was like, Adam, you need to go to sleep. I'm going to create her, and she's going to be the crown of my creation. And she was the last thing. She was after God made everything. Eve was the last thing. Woman was the thing that God made that was the best thing, the most beautiful, the most perfected thing out of all creation. He made woman, and He presented her to Adam. But you see her knowing who she is. There was something in there where He was telling her just like He told Adam who He is. And yes, Adam named her, but I heard someone was teaching on this. He said that I don't want to butcher it. I want to butcher it. Maybe I shouldn't say it. He was saying that you. Oh yeah, this will open a can of worms for people, but
we love cans of worms.
Well, the reason that God didn't want to name Eve or to name her to name her woman is because he wanted Adam to name her, because then she would be submitted to him.
Yeah. Because
everything in creation was submitted to Adam. So, Adam, you name her so that she'll be submitted to you. But she is your help me. She is your everything. She is all the stuff, and you better love her.
You better protect her. Yeah, we gotta. People like, oh.
Yeah, people. What are you talking about?
You gotta finish the verse.
I'm like, bro, like,
keep reading.
Like, there's a thing in that, and if you want to be, and then what's so crazy about the gift and the way that God set up the creation story and everything is that Adam unknowingly created a place for his bride.
Yeah.
The whole time. He didn't even know that he was making that for her. So that so that they could he was making a place for them. He was making building home for them to live out life, and so, I just think, but being able to share that and just the simplicity with her, and I was like, man, there's so much beauty in the simplicity of what God.
She was receptive.
Totally. I mean, it was very emotional, but that was like Holy Spirit knew what she needed to hear, and I don't say that in like, oh, she needed it, but it was just like life giving.
Yeah.
Because it's just like we can get so complicated in all the other things that we feel like we need to take it out of God's hands and take it out of His order and out of His way, and just make it. It's like, no, you don't understand the whole point. Like, He began the process of Christ coming when He kicked them out of the garden. He was like, there's going to be a way, but you got to get out of here, because if you stay here, you're going to fulfill the full plan and that of the enemy, and we can't do that.
Yeah, we're not having that.
So, but He made a way, and His name is Jesus, and Jesus loves you, me, all of us, and again, He just wants to hang out with you. He just wants to tell you to come up and sit with me as I pray. Like,
it's cool because he was hanging out with us the entire time here too.
Yeah,
he's still wanting to hang out.
He just
loves to hang out.
But isn't that crazy though? If you think about it, I just had a weird moment that, just like in the garden, God just wanted to hang out with us. That's the same thing Jesus wanted in the Garden of Gethsemane. I just wanted to hang out with you one last time.
Stop.
That's crazy.
That's all he wanted.
That's a trip.
That's a trip. That's a beautiful revelation.
And it goes to show, and yes, he was disappointed.
Right.
He was like, can't you just stay up just a little bit? Can't, because I just want to hang. I just want quality time. I just want to know that my inner circle is with me in this last hour.
And he knew that the hearts were corrupted, and he still was just wanting to hang out with us.
And he didn't hold it against him. And on the other side of everything, he didn't hold it against him. He came back and hung out some more.
Yeah.
He was like,
all right, let's party now.
He was like, yeah, we're just gonna eat those. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I think, and yes, there is an order of things that have to happen biblically, and all of that. But at its core, it's God sitting with His creation. It's God making Himself available to be God and for us to be creation, and know what that means to God and for us. Like, being sons and daughters, of His, and it's crazy. So, there's more stuff. I ain't gonna talk. I'm not gonna go.
There's so much. Y'all have to come back. Okay, so I'm actually working right now on renting out a podcast room down the street where it can fit like up to 6 people at a time. That way we can start doing like multiple guests and stuff like that.
Did you talk to this? I know some people. Is it in Ontario?
No, it's in Fontana.
No, word up.
Yeah.
There's other people I know. You
really?
Probably know they are. You won't realize you know they are. They have the trainees.
Oh. really?
They have a whole studio that they do that too. If you tell them you are,
yeah, but we gotta talk about it. Yeah, God's just doing his thing. I'm just like, man, I'm just happy you guys are here. I want to do another one because there's honestly lots of topics that we didn't talk about that I want to talk about. But
yeah, there's something there's a deep. Well, we didn't even talk about it, and this is something I wanted to. Well, Suicide Awareness Month.
Is it?
Suicide Awareness September, Suicide Awareness Month, and I'm actually releasing a song this month that I waited a year. Well, no, I've had it. I wrote it two years ago.
Really?
And the Lord was like, you need to release it in September. So, and it's about suicide. It's about I've had a lot of friends. I've been around it. I've dealt with. I mean, we've all dealt. I think we've all, if we're honest, we've all had suicidal thoughts, even at low level.
Yeah.
But I've had people that unfortunately have been successful, people that have attempted, but I've been the person people call. And it's like, but I remember someone who was really close to me, or that I had, I guess, a pretty big impact on their life, a believer, and she was just so sad, and I was just like, Lord, like, this is really affecting me, like, I'm really sensitive to this, and he said, Garrett, like, you have to understand, like, nobody that does this wants to. And he gave me like a glimpse kind of like into scenarios and the situation, and it's like they just want to be found.
Yeah.
And so the song that I wrote is called Hide and Seek. And the whole perspective of it is like that like, come find me because I'm hide and seek. Like, I'm hiding, like me. I'm hide and seek.
Wow.
And I don't know. It's like they don't want to be found, but they want to be found.
Yeah.
And nobody, I think, that has experienced is like, I was hoping that someone would stop me. I was hoping that someone would see or pick up on something because I don't have enough of whatever,
Well, there's that story too of the man in San Francisco where he left like a letter saying that he was gonna walk to the bridge, and if someone said hi to him, he wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No one said hi to him.
No one said hi to him. Yeah.
Someone they just want to be found, be seen.
Yeah. It's rough. I wrote we don't gotta do this for this, but I wrote a thing.
You can.
I mean, it's
whenever you feel comfortable with.
I mean, I wrote you haven't heard of this. That's what I was recording. I was just, because when I release it, it's going to be a song, and then it's going to be the song with the spoken word kind of thing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like, it'll be separate. But what it was is, it said, man, I haven't shared this with anyone. Don't get it. But it says, I wonder, it's so hard. It says, ready or not, here I come. I wonder if they know I'm playing a game. I guess I should have told someone I was playing a game. But if I told them, they would try to stop me. They would try to intervene. I'm sad, and I'm in love with the way I feel, even though it makes me feel everything. Like exposed nerves, I'm sensitive, and over time I become insensitive to how I feel. Complacent, aloof, careless, carefree, because I feel like others care less for me. I know it's not true, still I'm playing a game of hide and seek. I hide my grief and you seek it out. I hide my pain and you seek it out. I hide my desperation and you seek it out. Only problem is I never told you I was playing the game. I never told you we were playing this game. I'm praying you sense how I feel. You see me at the end of my road. Come find me. Please come find me. I just want to be found. But I'm playing this game you didn't know you were a part of. Come find me. Lord, come find me. Help them find me and tag me so I can be called out and brought back in. So I could be called out and brought back in. Yeah, but yeah, sorry. But I think
I'm like, I'm just here,
yeah.
bathing in that.
But I think that there's just a desperation that people have, and I think we put it on the person too much. I think that we don't see people. I think that that's the angle of this for me is that God's like, okay, Jesus is like, okay, if you are my little Jesuses with skin on the planet, why are you not seeing people?
Yeah.
Why are you checking in with the people that you know and you don't know? Are you really? Because I think that we're not. I think that we aren't. You know, I look at what happened with this one person. I mean, this was someone that was on the worship team. You know, and I don't point any fingers at anyone. I just feel like where was the ball dropped that we didn't see? But even with their family, where was the ball dropped that we didn't see? Where was the, they're all think of that, and it's just like it's.
Hey guys, I hope you guys are enjoying this podcast. Real quick, I want to interrupt because I just gotta let you guys know that I don't know what happened, but basically my camera stopped working at some point, and I didn't notice until it was too late. But I was able to fix it. But there's just a chunk of the podcast that didn't make it, and so it's gonna cut into a new conversation, so it may not fully make sense from the last clip, but just know that is why. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the conversation. It was amazing, it was great, and that's all. Love y'all. Sorry, Garrett, love you.
Like and it's very trapping now, because it's just heartbreaking, because you get guys that are literally like, I don't know, man, I just don't want to be alone. Like, have you heard a guy ever say that? Like, I mean, really? Like,
Yeah.
Have you heard a guy like be like, it's like, I really don't want to be alone, but I don't know where to go, and it's and then the temptation of things, like all the things, they're like, I just don't want to be alone. But I feel like everything I do is threatening.
What do you think the solution is?
Conversation, like open conversation. I think girls that want chivalry and all that stuff should kind of die to some of that too. Yeah. I think that I think talking is important.
Yeah.
I think a guy doesn't mind being asked out, or at least know that you're interested, so that he could come a little,
like signaling, or
something. I think guys don't know it because they're so afraid. Like now it's like, okay, well, can we just like talk? Can we just literally talk about whatever? Like, and if there's interest, like is there interest or not? There's so many guys that are like, man, I don't know. I tried to like say something, and it would seem like there was something, but because they aren't getting any, there's an expectation.
Yeah.
I think expectations are very high these days, and I think that it's changed over time because now we have social media and stuff. Like, I couldn't like the internet and stuff was getting a little more sophisticated when me and my wife started like dating, like, but I couldn't see everything that she was doing.
Right.
Like, I might get a word status update on MySpace or something. That didn't mean anything. And that junk was staying for like weeks.
Yeah.
Shopping at Stater Brothers.
Yeah.
Like for 3 weeks? Wait, you didn't change your...
You didn't change your status?
Like, you changed your status? Like, but...
And our moods, remember, it was like a drop down, and we got our moods, moods
like,
with their little emoji.
It's like, wow, they're always happy.
Dang, wow.
They're always crying and smiling. But now, because of the way that we interact with one another, it's so I can know everything you're doing. I can know everything you're doing, and people forget that it's fake because it's like it's fake. It's fake. Like it's the imaginary world, you guys. It's fake. Go outside. Like see people face to face. You know, the impact on the fake world, social media has been like so massive, and people don't even know. So a guy that doesn't think a girl's interested because he can see everything she's doing all day, and it's like, oh, see, she's talking about the guy, her gym crush, or it's like, bro, that's just like trendy junk that means nothing.
Yeah.
Like if you pulled up and just said something.
No, for real.
But because you can see it, you can see what you think is everyone's aspect of their life. People just kind of back down. They back down because they don't even want to try. Like they don't want to try anymore. And it's just hard. For me, I have my like I guess low key pastoral like heart for people and for for guys and like just like seeing people like wrestle with these things. It's just heartbreaking because they don't even realize that they're in a system that is designed for them to fail.
Yeah.
And it's designed to strip them of who they are, that they want to tell them who they are.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, man, like come to Jesus and let him tell you who you are. Like let him speak that original like thing into you and not feel like you need to be these things. And then you got it just sucks. And my heart breaks because I see it everywhere. And I see and
like within your friends
I see
and
it in my
people
friend I see it in my friend groups, I see it in people that I disciple. And I look at my kids coming up and I'm like, no. You're gonna know who you are. And you're gonna be able to interact with people. And you're not gonna be, we don't do it well all the time, but like they're not gonna always be on these devices and always it's like I want you to know who you are so you can go out there and be a person that changes the world and makes it a better place.
Yeah.
Because part of the Great Commission is to preach the gospel, but part of that is putting the good news out there. It's putting more good into the world. And it's like, and people are drawn to more good than they are bad. And I would like to raise people that are good.
Amen.
And to create good things and good systems and good, medicine and a good, and it's like, gosh, it's part of the Great Commission. And as believers, we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because right now it's like that, we leave it up to the people that are doing stuff now. Like, bro, what is happening?
Yeah.
And it's just.
And the kingdom makers to go out there and get dominion again of all sectors, not just the church.
Yeah, because it's like, man, come on. When it's like, when I remember when a bad idea was like, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't do that. Now it's like, hey, well, that's your truth. You're living your truth, bro.
Hey, yeah.
Go out there.
It's your truth.
Be a dinosaur. Don't
they have like cat litter boxes at schools and stuff like that? Because if you identify as a furry kitty,
I can't.
It's a thing.
I mean, it's a thing. It's just weird to me because it's like.
Of course, it's more than weird. It's just
sad. Like strange. I mean, like, bro, like if let's just, and I hate to. I'm not gonna go down this road too far, but if my son comes to me and he's like, well, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And he's like, I want to be a velociraptor.
Well,
what?
You can't.
What is that? Oh, well, it's a dinosaur. I want to be a dinosaur when I grow up. Okay. So my thought process should be, hey, we're humans. Humans don't become
That's it.
Humans don't become dinosaurs. And dinosaurs don't become humans. And that's me as your dad. I'm explaining to you the way that the world works. That is not me going to the doctor and being like, hey, doc, I heard that there's this new reptilian, like DNA thing I could put into my, so that my son can start his
let's talk.
His reptile journey.
That's a whole other conversation.
It's a whole thing.
No, but because I'm just like, dude, when the parents say like, it's a girl, he has been playing with tutus and Barbies since he was 2. Who bought the tutus? Who bought the Barbie? You know what I'm saying?
It's just rough. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what the latest thing is we're talking about skin. I guess skincare thing is like happening now with like young girls and their skin's breaking out and going all crazy because it's like because their cells haven't all developed in their skin yet, and they aren't old enough to be using. And like, I don't know why it's happening. Because you're buying them anti-aging cream when they're 10. Like, bro, what are you doing? It makes no sense at all. Like, so they're breaking out and they're like, parents are like, I don't know what to do. It's like, how about you stop
How
taking
about you
them
just
to Sephora
let them be kids
and let them be kids? Like, oh my gosh. It's just, logic is completely out the window and people are just being very, very, very negligent.
Yeah.
With the way that they're just letting things kind of roll, and I'm like, bro, it just.
But social media has a big.
Yeah, it has a huge
the
part
biggest
in it. Because everyone wants to reinforce people and make them feel good.
Yeah.
But it's like, at what expense though? Is it at the expense of the dumbing of all of humanity? Because the fact that this whole skibbity bibbity all that stuff is like a thing in a language. I'm like, no, it's not. It is a trend, and it is going away. It is going to pass.
Yeah.
And you gave your kids over to this thing because you thought it was cute, and I'm like, bro.
And now they're suffering for the rest of their lives in so many ways.
I'm like, what do you mean? Like, and I'm not trying to, I get that I'm all about slang and whatever something like that, but it's just it gets to a point to where even when my kids are like, yes, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, no. They're like, no skibbity anything, please. No Sigma, no skibbity toilet, no.
Come on.
None of it. Because they're all just like, it's the weirdest thing ever. And the fact that, and the thing that's so crazy is you have kids that are mature enough that are seeing it and saying, why are those adults reinforcing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like,
exactly.
They're like, that's the weirdest thing to reinforce. What? You're supposed to be the one to be like, stop that.
Stop that.
Stop that, because that's like weird. Because it doesn't even make any. It's like no one understands anything you're saying based off of just a social media trend, internet thing, And we used to have a filter and a thought process to be like, nah, no, not that.
To judgment, but now you can't even speak it without being looked at like, oh, you're just not inclusive. It's like, no, dude.
I'm like, bro, no. I'm just want you to be a human. Can you just be a human, please? Just be human, and we'll go from there. like, and
we'll take it one step at a time, okay? Yeah. Start with just be a human, and do normal human things.
Yeah, because it's hard because I think that's where I see people are losing themselves and they don't feel like that they're safe with that. They don't want to share what's going on in their lives or they don't want to offend someone, and they're just like, no, like, I mean, gosh, I mean, I gotta tread lightly on how I say this, but when people reveal the things that they're going through, and then they are put in a corner because of it, and it's like, but I thought this was a place of healing.
Yeah.
I thought that it was okay for me to like talk about what I'm dealing with, and like but a lot of people just want to like run, or they're like, well, you go over here, and it's like, dude, I just want somebody that I can walk with and do life with and be vulnerable with, to be able to like walk this stuff out, because when even if we go back to the suicide thing, like guys that, or I guess what do people say, unalive themselves, because people want to be. Because the algorithm knocks the words down, but people want to like end it, and they don't want to tell anyone because people get offended.
Isn't that like, what is the irony in that?
Yeah, it's like
you're gonna trigger someone, so then you don't say anything, and now it's gonna cause you to do.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Like yes, but no.
Yeah.
It's like in your, what is that? What Paul said, in their pursuit of wisdom, they became fools. Yeah. And that is literally what is happening. And yes, these are all end times, last day like things that we're seeing happen. But man, I didn't know it get this far down the road where I'm like, I'm like, what? We can't even talk about this? We can't even disagree. No, we can't. So we ain't gonna talk at all. Yeah. Like that's pretty. It's pretty strange. I mean, even to think that we're not talking about this at all, but even to think that like there wasn't going to be a presidential debate because they didn't want to talk to each other, bro. What do you mean? When has there never been a presidential debate? And thank God they're like, okay, we're gonna do it. Like it's like that's weird. Like, but the fact that it was gonna go down that road because like I don't talk to you. You don't talk to me. We'll just passive aggressively get past it, bro. What is
So
this?
we can't. And what kind of example is that giving to society that you can't sit down with people to have a conversation? If they don't agree with you, then just exile them and
it's terrible because it's like regardless, I respect you as a person,
as a human,
as a human that is walking through life with family, and it doesn't matter how big or how little, but you have experiences that matter.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear your story. I would love to, but people are, oh, well, you're one of those. I was like, no.
And
no.
don't say that.
I'm like, I'm just a human being, just like you're a human being. And I think that we have experiences that shape those things. And but I met the one that created us, and hopefully you'll meet him too, and you can test him because I've seen him do all the things, Look at my life. Look at what I've walked through. Look at all I can do is tell you what he's done for me, So, but I don't know around you. I don't know how you want to do. This could be like little pieces if you want to do little pieces and stuff for this stuff. I don't know. I'm not talking. But I don't know. I think what you're doing is great, sis.
No, I appreciate you and I already know we could sit here for probably 3 more hours and just continue on, but no, we'll just have to do more and just grateful that we get to have the conversations and practice what we're talking about, like having the tough conversations and the controversial hot takes without it being so. It doesn't need to be triggering.
Yeah,
we're just here.
It doesn't, dude. I was gonna say, I think with your what is it? Your small group, your Jesus Squad.
Jesus Squad.
Thing, I think it's. I'm glad to see. I mean, it's cool to see that you created that space for folks. I think that. I have a friend that kind of like added in, just kind of like trying to like, and it is really. I mean, just even a little bit, it's been like life giving. You know, like a what's the word? Like a new. What is it? New people, just being around new people to get out of like the same like junk, because it can be very small and not realizing, man, there's so much more. There's so much more life to live.
Flavors.
There's so much more people. There's so many other people walking through what they're walking through, and you could your experiences could really like help, or because I think we get stuck in just like this, we get stuck in just like this little box, and it's just like that's all we see.
Yeah.
So it's been for a couple of people there's like, man, that was cool. It's really, I don't know. Like I just thought it was, it's been life giving. So
that's awesome.
So just know that, I think keep going. There's so much. I think the way that God is bringing revival is coming, and not in the way that we think it is. It's not just gonna come through by way of acts of worship. I think that's so limiting. I think it's going to come through these small groups, little communities, more kingdom, like linking arms with other churches and stop being so siloed. Like I think it's coming through how what Water of Life is doing, City Links, like all of that is going to be just another way that like the Jesus people are like everywhere.
Yeah.
And they aren't being whack.
Yeah.
Because there's that too.
Jesus, the Lord, He put it in my heart last year that revival and the harvest, all that is coming and is here, is going to start in the backyards, in the living rooms. Mm-hmm. Like that's where He wants us to focus. And I went to a Jesus Image service last year as well. It was
I'm not ready. But
amazing. Like I was like bawling. 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds all speaking in tongues, praying over people. It was like, it was amazing. And I was like, God, like I want this. I want to do this. I told you backyards. Like why? Yeah. Like just start there. Like He's like you see like the big service and everything like that, but I want to do this in homes. I want to do this in hospitals. I want to do this in wherever you're already at. And I'm like, dang, all right.
Well, what the Lord showed, something that the Lord showed me, not even in the middle of all the, maybe at the beginning of all the or maybe like a little bit after the start of all the COVID stuff, and they shut down everything and all of this and stuff, and talking to my other worship leader friends, we all just felt this kind of burning of just like more than just Sundays, like more than just doing services. Like there's like, we know we're called to more, but God, where is it? Like where you know, like where will that be and how will that work? And when all the stuff is going on, like all the things were happening in the church, all the George Floyd stuff, all the things, I was like, this is so like painful to like experience, because like I'm doing something because the people that are going to start coming and wondering about this Jesus are going to be looking at a united church, and they're going to look at the world and be tired of the world being done with itself. Yeah. And they're going to come to the people that are somehow under the same roof, having differing views. But what's going to happen is a bunch of them are going to fall away that are already in it. And it's going to make room for all these new people, for all the for all the things, for all the people groups, all the LGBTQ, all of it. They're out there. They're going to be coming, searching, and they're going to be the ones that are going to get the Sunday messages that are going to be less deep divey, and they're going to be more basic messages, milk. And all the other ones are and that's where everyone else is going to be put to action, to do small groups, to do other things on other days, to grow that way, because there's not going to be room for that on a Sunday. That is the confirmation, because Joey, one of my friends, he said that months and months ago. He said that, the church is going to be opening the doors to people that don't really look like church people. They, it's gonna be. He said, this is his words. Pink hair. There's gonna be piercings. Might smell funky. Like, might be wearing shirts that are kind of offensive because they don't know what they're. And those are the people that are gonna be in need and going to be coming through the doors. And then, like you said,
it's not a might. It's happening.
It's not a might. It's been happening. Before I stepped away from ministry, before even that, leading worship, and it's obviously like a trans woman or man at the altar worshiping, and I'm like, that's amazing, God, and yeah, I could let the questions, they're none of my business, fill my heart. I can allow the demons around me to push on me and be like, isn't that weird? No, isn't weird? Isn't it weird? Why don't they, like, isn't that like strange? Isn't that like, and I was like,
shouldn't they not be wearing?
Yeah, I was like, bro, please. I don't even, but knowing, I was like, but I'm called to lead God's people into worship. And if this person is all the way up here at the front, hands raised, who am I to say anything except to lead them into the presence of Jesus? It's not my job to do anything else but put their hand in His, to make it aware and to set an atmosphere and create a space for them to worship the King. And I was walking around and I saw, and it was, and they'd come a few times, but there was like a little peppered group of people. And I was like, and I'm walking around saying hi to everybody, like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Just introducing. And it was almost like they were expecting me to say something. And I was like, I didn't say anything. I was just like, how you doing? What's your name? Garrett, I hope the message like bless you today. But what was worse? I saw you guys were, like worshiping. Was it? I said, I hope worship was okay for you today. And they're like perplexed, like no words. I was like, well, like, man, well, God bless you. Hope to. They're like, and it was just, and it was so good. And not that I was like intentionally trying to like dodge it. I was just like, I'm like, did you have an encounter with Jesus? That is the most important.
That's all that matters.
Thing. If you're not having an encounter, And I don't know what, then if we're not making the runway visible for you to have an encounter with Jesus, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing? I'm just singing Christian karaoke.
Christian karaoke.
It's like
Christian karaoke.
It's like no, we need to create spaces for people, but
it's happening.
There's a lot happening.
The Lord is good. The Lord's moving in this region.
Lord's moving. PhD's coming. Psh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do we have a date?
We're not yet.
Okay, well,
we have a month.
Okay, well then y'all both. We're gonna have to do the couple podcast soon, and we can promote it then. I want to do another one. Yeah. We can promote it and push, cause yay!
Yeah, no, it's good. The whole thing is trying to. So
go ahead.
Well, because I'm like trying to get the what's it called in my brain. I'm trying to get. We're waiting for the stuff from the government, but we already submitted all of it for the nonprofit. So
nice.
Yeah, so it's just getting all that stuff in order, making sure we have our our board.
Yeah.
And so, but
dude, that event is what led me to have a friendship with you guys. I saw that on Instagram and I was like, ooh, worship.
So
and
that's
because the world needs it, this region needs it, so I can't wait.
Did you? Well, I don't know. I think Allison was supposed to reach out to you.
I reached out to her actually. Okay. We're in communication.
Dude, look, you gotta. If you don't know, you can at least pull up. I know it's far.
Yeah.
But you gotta come.
It could be Echo, right?
Absolutely. Everybody's kids all up in them streets. Bring your. Put it in your. I mean.
Yeah. Jesus Squad for sure.
Yeah, because it's a recording. We're doing a recording that night. So.
What date is it again?
It is Friday the 27th.
Oh.
This month.
That's enough time to promote.
Yeah, just like they're already pushing it. I should be pushing it. I'm really whack at that right now, but they're like, yeah, it's such a good. That's what I'm saying. Like our region is like, dude, it's like on fire. Their community is 13 churches. The whole like thing. They are on fire like 13 churches in the Coachella Valley. These people are running after Jesus. Every time they do an event, it's freaking loaded. It's like what is going on? What is this?
Do a caravan out there.
They're like the desert, man. We out here trying to serve Jesus and bring people to the throne. Like, oh yes,
amen.
But it's amazing to like work with them and stuff.
Cool.
So I don't know if this. I know I'm talking. I don't even know what we're talking about.
Do you guys like the Perrys?
Of course.
Jackie Hill Perry.
Of course.
You guys remind me of them because you guys are just like, just so like poetic and artistic and real and raw, authentic.
Oh man, we've seen their journey from the beginning. I was there when he proposed to her.
That's so cool. Oh, I think we talked about this.
Yeah, dude. They got people that knew.
That's really cool. Yeah, I really like them.
I would, man. Shoot, yes.
I got her devotional, so I'm excited. It's called Upon Waking. Mm-hmm. It's just so cool because she's, she don't. There's like an episode where Preston was like interviewing her, like, so why did you do a devotional? He's like, because my editor told me to. She's like, I hate devotionals, but she's like, but it's because they're just so like, blah, hey, self-seeking.
Yeah.
Like, and so hers is just like, already on day 2. It's just really cool the way she explains stuff. Mm-hmm. So deep, so raw. So the way she gets you thinking. So anyways.
She's a very good Bible teacher.
So
and
good.
That is a God-given gift.
The way she just dissects everything and just makes you think about things. I'm just like, dang. No, and then Preston's apologetic. So he's cool too. Anyway, so this is my invitation to you guys, Preston. And all right, thank you. Love you, big bro. Appreciate you. Bye. Oh. We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
I don't know.